Thank you, Madam President, for giving me the opportunity to speak in the debate tonight on what is one of our most historic and important topics. I would also like to extend my congratulations to you, Madam President, to the librarian, to the treasurer, and of course to the secretary for all your hard work over the summer to put together what I'm sure all our members will agree is a spectacular term card. A warm welcome as well to all the freshers here in the chamber tonight. So for many of you, this will be your first debate at the Oxford Union, so I do hope you enjoy. When speaking on emotions such as this, it is hard not to recognize the enormity and intensity of our surroundings. This chamber is filled with the presence of former political titans. Gladstone, Heath, Heseltine, and of course, Bhutto. Even the dispatch boxes at which we speak were donated by Churchill in Parliament during the Second World War. They have seen great statesmen debate the very same question we do tonight. Yet, although we are surrounded by history, this motion is one which looks to the future. This is not a question on the merits of the Conservative Party, but instead about their mission as a government and what the future may hold. We have faced enormous challenges in recent years. I do not deny that. Yet I, for one, am reasonably confident that more positive times are ahead, and I have some faith in this government to take us there. However, before I start the main substance of my speech, it falls on me to introduce the speakers for the proposition tonight. You've just heard from the wonderful Anita Akunde, second-year undergraduate student at Magdalen College. Now, Anita is the queen of making you feel you have achieved very little so far in life. She is a top 100 Forbes-listed youth environmentalist and the founder of Girl Up Manchester. You know she's a big deal when she unironically has public figure in her Instagram bio. However, I must confess I was rather disappointed to hear that Anita would be saying her speech tonight instead of singing it. As if you didn't know, one of her many achievements was owning a singing account back in the days of Vine and Musical.ly. But Anita is a good friend of mine, and it is a pleasure to speak with her tonight. Speaking second for the proposition, we have the Right Honourable Sir Vince Cable, the former leader of the Liberal Democrats from 2017 to 2019. Sir Vince served in Cabinet from 2010 to 15 as Secretary of State for Business, Innovation and Skills, and he continues to contribute to politics and current affairs from his roles at the LSE and as Vice President of the European Commission. Speaking third is Mr. Meet Coban, the leader of My Life, My Say, the UK's largest youth voter registration organisation. He has done incredible work bringing opportunities to underprivileged children in Hackney and is an inspiration to young people across the country. And finally, speaking for the proposition is Mr. Jonathan Bartley, who was co-leader of the Green Party from 2016 to 21. Mr. Bartley has been a tireless advocate for green climate policy and is even a member of a blues rock band, according to his Wikipedia page. However, we, the opposition tonight, will be hoping he has as much success in the vote as he's had in his two unsuccessful attempts to run for Parliament. Madam President, these are your speakers and they are most welcome. As someone who is, like many of the people in the chamber and beyond it, dissatisfied, to put it mildly, in some of the political crises and turmoil of the past few years, it might appear a seemingly odd proposition to say that we have faith in this government. Now, without leaning into self-interested partisan narratives, ones I'm sure which will be forthcoming from the proposition tonight, there are grounds for hope and optimism which can be enacted upon by this government. But even if this government was to fall tonight and replaced with whatever alternative tomorrow morning, it would be incumbent upon us all to recognise the circumstances under which any government must take place. Government and people, as this past week have shown, rule at the mercy of events. These are not, unfortunately, the sunny times where we are relatively problem-free and the challenges we face can be kicked into the long grass. The world is emerging not only from a pandemic, war in Ukraine and in Afghanistan, conflict in the Middle East, and the looming spectre of rising tensions with China. Any government must also deal with the challenges of the environment and an aging population, which disproportionately affects public services such as ours. The problems are infinite. We do not deny this, and these are just a select few. But these issues are not faced by the UK government alone. Cast your thoughts for a minute for some of our allies. Canada is in the middle of a mortgage crisis and has a housing bubble larger than it was before the 2008 financial crisis. There is riots and civil unrest in France. Germany's once stalwart of economic stability is now faltering. And the US, well, apologies to the secretary, but I think that speaks for itself. Everyone in this chamber has a reason to be dissatisfied with their government. But with the world in the state it is now, I find it hard-pressed to believe the situation would be any better under any government or administration. Truly, in this globalized world, misery, as much as happiness, is shared. But lest I seem like a prophet of doom or despair, there are still causes for hope, and they can be found within this present government. Just the other week, we've seen a serious review of the education system and how we can make the people of this country better prepared for the job markets of the future. Not only with tailored A-levels, but more of a focus upon students as rounded individuals. This could be transformational. The government continues its ambitious agenda of levelling up, and whilst it must take sense of economic reality, one simply cannot dismiss the fact that this government has seriously put the welfare needs of areas left behind or forgotten firmly on the political map. Go for it.
How does cancelling train lines serve both the issues of leveling up and also environmental issues, which you so eloquently described, encouraging more driving and discouraging train use? This furthers those objectives?
Well, in response to that, I did say they have to take sense of the economic reality. The figures on HS2 have been astoundingly expensive, so it's not making economic sense given our current state. Equally, they have expanded the east-west train line as well. And yeah, that's what I would say in response to that. Levelling up has raised the hopes of millions who live outside London and the southeast. Whatever happens, I do not think they shall be forgotten again. Furthermore, this government, after the isolation of the Brexit years, has restored Britain to a position of trust and influence on the world stage. Just look at the Windsor Framework in Northern Ireland with the EU, or our staunch support for Ukraine as recognised consistently by President Zelensky, or trade and security deals signed with Japan. Britain is having a renewed influence on the world stage. It is natural for people and for the media to focus constantly on the negatives, what is going wrong and what could be better. But it is only fair to admit, even if it is through gritted teeth, that some things at least, are going well under the administration of this government. The challenge is, of course, always to raise our sights higher and right wrongs wherever they may be. And of course, I fully recognize there are many problems, but there are grounds for hope. At the end of the day, no matter where you personally stand on the party political issue, I would hope that we all want this government to do the best it can, because the country it governs is the one we all call home. Let us all remember that no matter what the colour of our political ribbons, we really do have far more in common than what divides us. And in this spirit, I urge you to vote for the opposition tonight. Thank you.